Okay, so new conspiracy just dropped. I'm dropping a new conspiracy today for funsies. You know, in the movie Mean Girls, when Lindsay Lohan sabotages Regina George, she sabotages her diet at least by giving her these nutrient-dense bars from Africa, but telling Regina that the bars are actually going to help her lose weight. And then she realizes that she's been sabotaged and she screams. That's what I have to imagine is happening at Turning Point USA. Like somebody's just setting Erica Kirk up, right? It's probably Elizabeth McCoy. I feel like if I had, it's her because they're like best friends, and Elizabeth and Mikey are like in the shadows, like it's going to be us. We're going to be next. Turning Point is ours. And so she's pretending to be Erica's BFF, but secretly giving her the worst advice of all time. She's like, you should wear glitter tonight. I don't think there's enough glitter. You need glitter on the makeup, head to toe, all of it. You look amazing. Charlie loved pyrotechnics, and he also liked that Nicki Minaj Monsterverse. I think you need both. We got to do both. We need to put the fun in funeral. I don't know. That's what I think. I think it's Elizabeth McCoy. Remember, it was Elizabeth McCoy. It was her idea to put the tent up. It's her. This is my conspiracy theory. It's Elizabeth McCoy. She's going to slide to that spot. And then she's going to wear black, and she's going to actually mourn Charlie and be like, I don't know what Erica was thinking. She wants the throne. Anyways, that's my best excuse that I can offer, the best excuse that I can summon for every move that the organization is making, which has just been disastrous. It's clown world over there. And now, to add to that, to snowball, someone has made the brilliant decision to send a cease and desist letter to a relatively small YouTube channel who's made interesting videos regarding the finances of Turning Point USA. Has he gotten everything right? Of course not. We even said when he got something very wrong, like the wrong person, I tweeted and said, this is not the right person. You should take this down. And guess what? He immediately took it down and corrected it and removed it from his content. So this isn't like a bad faith actor by any means. It's wolves in finance, and I'm referring to the presenter, Zach Gregorio. I'm going to let him explain to you what happened. Take a listen.
This week, I received a letter from Turning Point titled Demand to Cease and Desist Defamatory Comments. This is the first step when someone sues you for defamation. I know there are a lot of people out there making videos about Turning Point, so you should pay attention to this. They have started sending out cease and desist letters, and for some reason, they've decided to start with me. Apparently, they cannot handle the criticism from my teeny tiny YouTube channel. This letter is showing the world the type of organization Turning Point has become under Erica Kirk. They want to send legal letters to small YouTube creators. So we're going to go through this letter. Now, it is nice that we have this letter with their official statements, but the letter does nothing to change my suspicions. It does not address most of my questions. Instead of answering my questions, it is the precursor to a lawsuit unless I change my statements. That does nothing to reduce my suspicions. For the sake of avoiding miscommunication, I can change the title of the video if that makes them more happy. I already changed it from More Fraud at Turning Point USA to More Fraud at Turning Point USA, allegedly.
I'm sorry. I just enjoy him. There's something about it. It's like my teeny tiny YouTube channel. Allegedly. I enjoy that. I'm sorry for laughing at that because it's funny. It is funny. And it's ridiculous. Guys, I thought we left in 2025. I thought that I did this for everybody. You can't just sue people to make them shut up. We have to be done with that as a society. It is a uniquely American phenomenon of suing people for everything. You know, get into your car accidentally gently touches somebody else's car. Now you need the cops there. The insurance agency is getting involved. I mean, the whole scam of suing people just needs to end. Okay? It just needs to end. Get a job, work hard. If you feel that someone is putting out wrong information about you, don't start a cease and desist letter with, we don't intend to sue you. That's what he's saying is correct. That is exactly what a cease and desist is for. It's the first step to suing somebody. Otherwise, this could have been an email. If I got him to take something out of his video after I shared it, I said, this is incorrect. And he did it, when I say instantly, immediately took down the video and corrected it. Why can't Turning Point try to behave like a human and just have somebody email from the PR office, hey, Andrew, this could be you. and say, hey, I do PR for Turning Point USA. Happy to answer some of your questions. Just send them over. Or say, hey, you got this wrong. Do you mind please updating this? Like, it's like, this is not right. They have so much money. They just are spending money on stupidity. And again, what is your end goal? As he says later on, he's like, I don't have any money. What is your end goal here with sending this letter? It's obviously going to backfire. But I just want to say the energy of this, I have lawyers, I can sue you, I'm rich. It needed to be left behind in 2025 with Brigitte Macron. Okay. And of course, it backfires immediately. It backfires spectacularly because now Turning Point is on record because of this video and because of this letter that they sent him. They are now on record going against themselves on record. We have received so many different stories from them regarding the drones that were there on the day of Charlie's assassination. First, Frank Turek came out and he said that while they were driving over to the event, he was showing Charlie live drone footage on his phone. And Charlie loved it. He was like, it's amazing. Then Brian Harpole, apparently unaware that Frank Turek had already told the truth, he moved to tell Sean Ryan that actually there were no drones because the university denied their request to fly them. And people were like, hey, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. You guys are saying two different statements. Why does it look like you're lying all the time? So, of course, Andrew Colvett came out, swooped in with his always perfecting PR, and he said this regarding the mix-up. Take a listen.
Early on, Frank Turek talked about that on the way there that, he actually was looking at Charlie's phone and he saw drone footage from the event. Now, I had talked to, with that in mind, number one, I went to UVU and I actually put the drone up. We were going to do the survey. Immediately, law enforcement came up and said, hey, look, we need you to take down that drone. Now, my drone pilot had already made all the necessary steps with the FFA to make sure that we could do that. And I explained to the law enforcement officer, hey, look, you guys don't control this airspace. But he's like, well, we got policies. You have to do this. And we're not going to sit there and argue with them, right? So we ended up grounding the drone. We went and jumped through some hoops. We were trying to get some documents done. Long story short, what we ended up having to do was leave campus. We flew the drone. We were off campus. We flew the drone. We got the survey. So that kind of reinforced other people saying, Brian Harpole specifically saying, like, hey, we couldn't get permission to get a drone up in the air. And of course, people took that, what Frank said at the beginning, and said, hey, this is clear indication of lying and or a conspiracy. Well, what I found out was the picture that was being pushed around saying, hey, this is proof that there was drone footage it was very clear to me once I saw that picture. It is a wide angle shot of the crowd
and let's
from
throw
the
that
second
up.
floor back.
Yeah, let's throw that up.
Yeah.
This is actually I think the images, guys, I sent them to you. Yeah, this is actually, there was a walkway or a bridge elevated that was just from our events team that was setting up that event. They went up there as they always did, to show Charlie the crowd size. So they took those images.
No, yeah, and I completely understand
20
why.
seconds, Gary.
Frank,
yeah,
I understand why Frank thought this was a drone. But again, I think it almost shows that the lack of conspiracy, because you guys aren't sitting there, micromanaging what people say. It's just different people's perspectives, and there isn't some sort of collusion.
Yeah, that's really nice. Except now Turning Point USA's lawyer is going to dispute Andrew, and the worst PR, the worst person that PR money could buy, Paramount Tactical, because in the letter to Wolves in Finance, he says, no, there were drones, but it was only allowed for some people. But there were drones that day. Take a listen.
On December 7th, I posted a video called Top 10 Clowns of the Year. In this video, I called Turning Point my #1 clown of the year. I talked about the now infamous interview with Turning Point's chief security person talking about the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. I point out the massive contradiction where he says they were not allowed to fly drones. Then I show the interview with Frank Turek where he says he was watching drone footage with Charlie Kirk. This part is breaking news because I'm not aware this has ever been discussed. The lawyer in this letter says the following: there was no discrepancy. UVU prohibited Turning Point USA from flying drones for security purposes during the event, but did allow a Turning Point USA media production drone to briefly fly over the location before the event to collect limited B-roll footage. First of all, how could this be defamatory if I had no idea about any of this? Second, I find this explanation absurd. You are telling me that the security team was not allowed drones, but the media team was? That is the official explanation from Turning Point's lawyer. My honest opinion is I do not believe that. But if that did happen, that is really silly, and it may have cost Charlie Kirk his life.
He is all of us. It's so absurd. Guys, you've had so much time to get your story straight. Were there drones? Were there not drones? Now, it's okay there were drones, but only some people could have them. The media team was allowed to fly drones temporarily, and then he saw that. We were just told by Paramount Tactical and Andrew that was just the wide shot that Frank saw. Now we're like, oh no, the media team, that is what happened. They were allowed to fly drones, but security couldn't. What? You're going to let media fly drones temporarily to get a shot, but you're not going to let the security team fly drones temporarily to get a shot of what they're looking at? Does that make any sense? And by the way, hey, Brian Harpole, how about being resourceful? If you figured out the media team could do it and they could get it to Frank, why didn't they get it to you? Why didn't they get to you what the rooftops looked like? Oh, I know, because you're all lying. That's pretty obvious by now. You're all lying. Please just stop lying about everything. Because eventually what's happening is what we're going through right now. The public is having to decide whether or not you have been making genuine mistakes repeatedly, or if you have been fibbing nonstop at all hours of every day because you're engaged in a cover-up. And I am of the latter opinion. I have been for a while. There are just too many inconsistencies at all time. It's not that difficult to remember the truth. Judge Judy watched it in bed with my grandma. If you're going to be a liar, you better have a good memory. And it turns out none of you guys have a good memory. The person that had the photographic memory is dead. That was Charlie Kirk, okay? That was your boy wonder, and you've now lost him.